Greetings, my fellow YouTubians. You know, I live in Chicago, and it's not necessarily known as being a movie-type city. However, that has changed in recent years because the government has given visiting film crews tax breaks. So now Chicago has become a much more visible movie town, and no more visible than the most recent Batman picture, The Dark Knight. This is LaSalle Street. And you might recognize, down at the end of the street there, this big, tall building at the end. That is the Chicago Board of Trade. You zoom in a little bit so you can see this better. This was used in the original Batman picture, or at least the one before that one, as Wayne Enterprises headquarters, and they digitally inserted the monorail in this whole street right here. Now this location was used in the new picture for two scenes. One was the daytime scene, which they honored the dead police commissioner, and the other, of course, was the climax of the big nighttime chase, whereby a semi-truck flipped over, and then Batman confronted the Joker on his motorcycle, or bat axle, or whatever the thing is called. That is at this intersection right here, LaSalle and Monroe. This particular street and backdrop was also used in a number of other movies, such as Road to Perdition, and there was a nighttime scene in Payback in which Mel Gibson talked to a few dirty cops in a car at the side of the street here with this in the background. It's also the backdrop of that pretty dramatic crane shot in the Intouchables. When Batman snared the truck the Joker was driving with his cable, it upended right about here and flipped over this way. The Joker got out, he then walked into the middle of this intersection, firing his machine gun at Batman, who had turned around and was racing back towards him. Right there in the middle of that intersection is where Heath Ledger stood as the stunt guy skidded the Bat bike around him and came to a halt right about there. This is a location that was used a couple of times in the movie. This area right here served as the entrance to the Gotham Police Department, or one of them anyway. They had a whole bunch of vans out here, police vans, and a big sign hanging over the door. But this building also served another purpose. It's the old post office, and it was used very memorably as the bank that gets robbed in the very opening of the movie. They had placed Gotham City Bank or Gotham National Bank in big letters on the side of this. And in the first shot of the film, the camera actually goes over this building and focuses on this one right here. You see that tiny little vent up near the top there? You've got those two big vents there, but that tiny little vent right there was replaced by a piece of glass. And during the opening shot, that glass was blown out so the robbers could rappel from their window up there over to this building in that great IMAX shot. It was right here at this intersection, Franklin and Van Buren, where we have the first shot in the movie of the Joker. He's standing right about here with his back to the camera. A van pulls up, puts his mask on, jumps in on his way to rob the bank. There are train tracks back there where a train was moving by, and you'd be able to see them if all that construction was in the way now. This is the Sears Tower. Tallest building in Chicago, at least until Donald Trump puts up his spire on his thing. There's that shot in the film where Batman's standing on the ledge of one of those sub-towers right there looking out over the city. Christian Bale claims to have been that guy standing on there in the shot itself. Think we ought to take him at his word? This particular building holds some personal significance for me. It's the scene in the movie where the Wayne Enterprises accountant was escorted out of the Gotham cable news network by the cops because the Joker just issued his threat to blow up a hospital unless someone killed him. So the crowd gathered out here, outside this lobby right here, and actually started shooting at him. So the accountant was escorted out of this door right here, brought along this way, as Christian Bale drove by in his gray Lamborghini, and he was loaded into this police van that was parked in this alley, and they proceeded out that way. The area over here is where the gray Lamborghinis, there were two of them actually, were used during the shoot. They were parked over here. Now, they shot this scene on a Sunday, because generally, that's when the businesses are closed. But I had the good fortune of having a job, and still do, that actually requires me to work on Sundays, so I was here for the whole thing. They had to escort us in through the side door because this entire lobby here had been redecorated and given big flat screen TVs and all this big signage that said Gotham cable news on it, GCN, that kind of thing. And we had to basically go out of our way to let the film guys do their thing. They had all kinds of streets over here blockaded. It was one of the few things that I actually got to see in person. Most of the other locations I just recognized from, the shots in the movie. Ooh, I know that intersection. But this one's different. I for one would very much like to see a movie in which a character is thrown off the top of that building right there and lands on the top edge of that sculpture right there. The top edge would split him wide open. He'd send blood and guts flying all over the place. That would be awesome. So in the coming weeks I'll have some more Batman locations. I just wanted to get this out of the way before the big snowfall hits tonight, this being Wednesday. Yeah, and we'll have more locations from other movies set here as well. Take it easy.